For our 28-day challenge, it's also the 20,000 repetition camp, because kids will get 20,000 reps. They're going to drill our core system. We know that 90% of your points comes from 10% of the wrestling. That's the reason all the college wrestling matches look the same. You think college wrestling is boring. Whether you think it's boring or not, that's what your kids need. That's the reason your kids aren't preparing for college, because they're not spending their time. We spend too much time wasting effort. If you go to a weight room, you go to Gold's Gym right down the road, it's about 90,000 square foot. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna bounce around into every piece of equipment. You'll be there all day and you won't get anything accomplished. But if you say you go to a professional strength and conditioning coach, one, not a professional who says he's a professional, one who's an old man, who's done this for decades, who can say, here's 500 people to call as references. Here's the famous college coaches to call, have sent football players to these famous college, colleges. Here's our strength records. Here's the books. Look in the book. These kids, under their name, it has our gym name. I mean, that's a professional, right? Not to someone who has a gym. Same with wrestling, right? So, but if you take that guy and you get a weightlifting program specific to your goals and your sport, you're going to go into that Gold's Gym and you're not going to touch but about 20% of the equipment or less. So by having a system that tells you what to do, but by default, that's also telling you what not to do. You're like, oh, I'm not going to touch that thigh master. That's not on my strength plan. Oh, I'm not going to touch the bouncy ball. My grandma might sit on the bouncy ball and do bicep curls with the pink dumbbells, but we don't sit on bouncy balls and do bicep curls with pink dumbbells when we're trying to get a $180,000 football scholarship or wrestling scholarship. So that workout plan by the professional who's proven to be a professional, he's helping you to only focus on the good stuff. Well, that's what our camp is. There's 3 pieces of paper taped to a wall. This is how you beat Iowa State. We're going to drill it 900 times each. We're not going to waste your time with anything but that 3 pages. You will master it. If someone's lagging behind, I will hire an extra coach. I'll throw an extra 3 or 4 grand if I have to. I'll do anything to win, anything to be this best, anything to have success, anything for people to, I've had moms cry after our wrestling camp. I've had many dads they're blowing up. I tell them, your jaw will hit the floor, because we invite you to watch the last practice. And in our 5-day camps, the takedown machine and 3-position camp, we put all the kids through the entire camp right before your eyes, proving to you we did the job. The 17-year-old who's a 2-time high school state champ, he's going to look great. But so is the 9 and 10-year-olds who only have wrestled a year or 2. They're going to look just as good, because I'll see to it, because I won't fail, right? They're going to look fantastic. They're going to drill the whole camp, and we're not going to teach. I'll stand against the wall and I'll say, number 1 man, underhook throw by, go. Time. You go 1 minute, 10 seconds. You get to watch a lot of reps. Number 2, go. Good. Down block, go behind. Partner counters, backside, go behind. Number 1, go. Time. Number 2, go. I'll stand against the wall and call out drills for an hour and 20 minutes, and it'll blow your freaking mind. That's our camp. Now we have the 14-day dream season camp, where we go deeper. So if 90% of your points comes from 10% of the wrestling, that's where we want to live. But we want to also go deeper as we get more advanced, because the better kids do different stuff, right? They're not always going to sprawl when you hit that high crotch. They're going to sit around the corner and go to a hip. So there's more common positions. So that's the reason we go into, let's say, 20% of the wrestling. We go deeper into the positions. Instead of, if there's 6 great ways to score from a front headlock, in our 5-day camps, we have 2 of those. You'll hit hundreds of reps. Then at the 14-day dream season camp, we'll hit all 6. So it's just that approach. Now, those of you who want to do the 28-day, 20,000 rep challenge, you are going to do all the camps back to back to back. So you're going to live within the wheelhouse of the college wrestling plan, and then there's seminar days in between the camps where we will cover, number one, the mental game of wrestling, having a strong mental game. One of my wrestling coaches has his degree in this field. We have worksheets that we do. We work with our advanced elite room kids in our academy. We have the world-class wrestler program. A lot of self-evaluation, self-awareness forms, post-match evaluations. You write down where do you score? Where do you almost score from? Where do you get scored on? How did people almost score on you? We're going to have 4 columns. We're going to start working on these kids. So the seminar days we're covering with worksheets and evaluation and a sort of a mentoring, you could say, how to help them develop a game plan that helps them with the sports psychology side of wrestling. One of the seminar days is personalized style development, where we're going to take the strength and conditioning columns I just talked about, plus watch their close matches from districts, regionals, and state, or if they wrestle the national tournaments, and spend a lot of time preparing to help those athletes with a personalized drill plan moving forward. Because as my famous college coaches at Oklahoma State said, you want to master the core wrestling skills. That's what we do at PurlerWrestling.com and our online academy. That will be launching here within about 2 weeks. It is December 31st. The world's first. We had the nation's first wrestling academy. Now we have the world's first online academy. So that's very cool too if you had interest. It'll be $14 a month, and we'll be uploading seminars and guest instructors and things in the future. First, we're just going to get it off the ground, and you'll have access to over 270. There's about 10,000 wrestling techniques. We've narrowed it down over the past 20 years to about 270 techniques. Some of that's head blocking skills, positioning skills. When I tie up with inside ties, I should not be able to see my knuckles. I drop my head below my knuckles when I'm in a tie up. Those are tactics, right? So there's many, many tactics that will help you to become a freak of nature athlete and a coach if you were a serious student of the sport as well. But so that's the technique plan. But the seminar days, personalized development plan, because like I said, once you have that plan developed, like my Oklahoma State coaches said, now your wrestling needs to get a little bit smaller. You drill the plan, you're familiar with the core skills of wrestling and the best positions in wrestling. You're so well versed, dangerous in fact. But then you want to learn what positions to avoid, right? There's some Russians who are Olympic champions. They will wrestle out of an overhook. Jordan Burroughs doesn't wrestle out of an overhook. He avoids that position. So his wrestling got smaller, didn't it? And that's what I learned at Oklahoma State. And that's what we're going to do at our 28-day, 20,000 rep challenge camp, is help kids to master the plan. And then from that plan, what will you be a dangerous weapon at, right? If you're not a freak of nature quick, you're not going to wrestle from space, right? So what happens is you'll probably watch your wrestler, I guarantee you, do it right now. Watch his last 5 matches. I bet your wrestler, who most likely isn't great from the outside because he's not a freak athlete, or her, I bet your wrestler spends 30 to 40% of his or her time not in a tie-up. You might as well be sitting in the garage, right? Sitting in the parked car in the garage. You can't score from there either. So we're going to help them to say, dude, you got to be hands-on. Watch the elite college wrestlers. Most of them can only wrestle from a tie-up. They're in a tie-up fast. You're probably not doing that. Your kid might be ranked in the high school in the nation, probably isn't doing that. So we're going to turn all these stones over. Complete total education. One of the seminar days will be about strength and conditioning and weight loss, right? Real rough game plan for strength and conditioning. I hired a pro to help my son. My son got freaking turned into a monster because I like to hire pros. I don't like to figure things out on my own, right? This is an old man pro He has a history of kicking ass, so I hired him. And so part of our plan will be built off of that. Plus, it'll be individualized a little bit for the middle school kids and those athletes coming to the 28-day, 20,000 rep challenge. One of the seminar day, part of that will also be weight loss. I'm a master at diet and nutrition and weight loss. And I'm not bragging, I just am, because I was a massive weight cutter. I have a twin brother. He was bigger. I always had to be the weight cutter since I was 12. I weigh 154 pounds now. I wrestled 114 when I was in college in the summer. I wasn't this big back then, but I kept myself shrunk down. So I know a lot about this, and beat about 4 Olympians too when I was a wrestler. Never made the team or anything, but I had some big wins, right? But I can help them tremendously with that. So that's the seminar days. So if you're interested in the 28-day, 20,000 rep challenge, now you know about it. And I threw in a little bit about our 5-day takedown machine, 3-position camp. You have a takedown machine. Then we also have the 3-position camp. Maybe if your athlete is young, you're like, they can't do the 14. There's no way to do 28. Do the 10. That's our most popular option. Hell, you're gonna fly here or drive here anyway. You might as well park at the #1 wrestling camp in America and the best wrestling facility in America with some of the best coaches in America, people who actually care, right? Because we just want to win. It's like wrestling. You know, any success that you have, you got to focus on the training, right? You focus on knocking over the dominoes, right? And doing the stuff. The wins happen on their own, right? My camps are going to fill, right? I'm going to be able to pay for my kids' college. I don't worry about those things. I worry about you and your kids and winning and seeing to it that they have success, seeing to it that they have fun, their needs are met. What issues do we have? Your mom's coming, your dad's coming for day 5 of the camp. We have to have you ready. I've spent thousands on extra coaches. Take these kids into the small gym, help them. I'll skip lunch, right? They'll eat lunch and then they'll come back early. I'll spend time with them because we're gonna invite the parents to watch the last practice of the camp. And we're gonna put the kids in the 5-day camps through the entire camp right before your eyes, proving to you that they've mastered the camp. And we're gonna blow your mind. The 14-day camp will put them through 40 to 45% of the camp right before your eyes. And if they do the 28-day camp and you wanna come to every one of those drill sessions, you're certainly welcome. But if you have interest, you can check us out at purlerwrestling.com. Our goal is to be the best. That's it, to be #1, right? To be #1 in the academy, in numbers and success. We've had over $3 million in college wrestling scholarships earned. Our goal is to be #1 in camps. We've sold out almost every year for 16 years. We'd have famous college coaches who've sent their kids to our camps. I could name drop, but I'm not going to do that. It's kind of cheap. We just had one this weekend from Ohio. His dad's a famous coach. They go to his camps too. His dad probably does a great job, I'm sure of it. But they choose us as well. Some of the famous athletes that come through our program, All-Americans, national champs, Drake Hotteshow, Zane Richards, Nick Lee from Penn State, and all of his brothers. We used to do privates. They used to drive in 7 hours round trip for my 2-hour practice. I'll have kids Thursday driving 8 hours round trip for a 2.5-hour practice. We have no less than 35 kids who drive 4 to 5 hours round trip each week for our 2-hour practices. They don't do that because for any other reason than we care about their kids. Parents know we care, and we're getting results, right? There's too much talk nowadays about being patient. You should not be patient, right? Maybe you shouldn't be stressed out and in a hurry, but you should be almost stressed out and in a hurry. You want to wrestle in college? Famous college coach better be knocking on your door, sitting at your kitchen table when you're 17 and a half. You can get your high school diploma at 90. You want to wrestle in college? They sign college documents at 17. Sure, 20% of the athletes sign late, their senior year, 18. If you want to wrestle at a college level, you need to be you need to be getting recruited as a 17-year-old boy or young lady. If you're 14, you have 3 years left. We got to move, right? We got to move. So that's my approach. When I was a high school coach for 3 years or 4 years, I hated it. I loved the coaching. Teaching, I never got a chance to teach because of the bureaucracy, and it's a mess. And I was in football, and a lot of the coaches down there, I was in Texas, and it was a big football state, and the coaches were arrogant, so I quit. I moved back. I go, I'm a coach on my own. I did that 20 years ago. But when I was a teacher and a coach, they didn't care if I won as a coach. I did, but they didn't care. I always had a job. When I started my academy, guess what? If I don't have a job, I starve. I'm no different than a NFL coach. I'm no different than a famous college coach. Your kids win or I starve. It's beautiful, right? And I don't starve because your kids will win. So there's a little bit about me and my philosophy. And you can check us out at purlerwrestling.com. Our camps have sold out almost every year for 16 years. And we don't have a week or a month of camp. We go 1st of June to the middle of August. So I'm talking 2.5 months we sell out. Last year we had kids flying in from Germany. So come check us out at purlerwrestling.com, especially our 28-day, 20,000 rep challenge. The next best option is our 14-day dream season camp, Blow Your Mind. That's sold out every year. We've been doing it for 6 years, 2 14-day weeks. So, that's 2 a summer. So all 12 have sold out fast. So be careful. Our 5-day camps, those are doing both of those back to back is our third best option than doing the 5-day camp. We do have a few that do the 19-day too. They might do the takedown machine and the 14-day or the 3 position and then the 14-day dream season camp. So I guess there's 5 options. But there's a lot about our camps and so forth. Good luck. Love to have you involved. And, please share this with other people. We have a pretty good video list here, sharing a lot of advice. The least you can do is just to share our YouTube channel with your friends. And I'll keep putting out great videos, and a lot of technique videos are coming your way, so get ready for that.